story where somebody uses Alexa to either stalk somebody or be a serial killer or something like that.
Just dropping in somebody's living room.
Whatever. But I'm just looking for that to show up. And I'm also looking for, the what do we call those bird scooters that are all over the place? I'm looking for that to show up in movies where somebody's trying to get away from a cop or something, and they just hop on one.
That would make sense.
And they would get away, try to get away from, somebody on that. But
you'll see that.
Yeah, I'm just I'm waiting. I'm like, when's it gonna? It should be here by now.
It's so weird you should say that because somebody I wish I could remember who it was, but just in the last couple of days, somebody had mentioned to me watching a rerun of NYPD Blue and Sipowicz saying how much he hated cell phones and that they were the death of America with cell phones.
Wow. Look at it today.
We definitely have a love-hate relationship with technology.
Oh yeah,
we love it, and then we what do you call it? We obsess about it, and we have all kinds of conspiracy theories about it, and we demonize it. It's crazy. And
I'm definitely a conspiracy theorist when it comes down to.
I don't think it's conspiracy. I think it's pretty plain. And whether you're going to assume the risk or not. Like, I know when I use Google Chrome, which I use all the time, they know every frigging thing about me.
Right.
They track everything. They know what I'm buying. They know what I'm chatting about. They know what I'm looking up. They know what photos I'm looking at. They know what kind of porn I like. They know what kind of ads is popping. They know everything. But you know what? So fucking what?
Yeah, that's how I feel. I don't care.
You can't use it against me. Like, I'm just being me. I ain't committing no crimes.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's a slippery slope.
That's the conspiracy part is the part that not the fact that it's being done, but that it's going to somehow be used
against you.
Yeah,
right? And
it's a slippery slope.
And we make the movies about it, and we do all these things, and we have these fears about this, and so that's the part that I'm talking about.
No, I guess I do understand people wanting to keep their home as private as possible, but we basically have no privacy anymore. From when we was a kid, it wasn't cameras everywhere. There are cameras everywhere now.
And I think that's like a whole part of private monitoring, and I don't think that that's right, and I don't think that that's fair. Like, I'm all for surveillance and being safe, but I'm not for just watching me walk around the store.
Well, but that's everywhere. I mean, think about how many crimes are solved because they found the camera from the store across the street or the gas station, and that's what caught that white dude that beat that homeless person on the bench. They got surveillance from an ATM nearby, and they know that he was with this chick. They know what he's wearing. It's from the cameras, and they just matched everything up.
Yeah.
They haven't caught him, but but I hope they do.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely got its ups and upside and downside, pros and cons. And I don't know. I'm just not that dude that like stresses over that stuff. I just don't feel like they're gonna come for me and frame me for anything.
No, but until day when they say, "Hey, we have to take control over the people." No, Alexa, no. Until they say, "Hey, it's too much going on in the world, and we need to take control." We're gonna.
Oh, you're thinking what, the robots?
No,
I think he's talking about she's thinking like a dictatorship.
Yeah, like a dictatorship. Yeah, I'm talking about like a dictatorship or something like that. Like,
well, that's why I have guns.
Well, you.
I mean, it is.
Well, I know where I'm gonna come, but I'm just saying, they ain't gonna stop it from happening. I'm gonna be here though in your basement, me and Pip apparently. Cause
I have thought about that. I mean, honestly, if you look at our current administration, it would not surprise me if they could get a hold of data and see who was the enemies and who was for them, and use that against you. I know that sounds extreme, but we have records in history where that kind of stuff's happened before.
Yeah.
But I guess we all have our thing. You know what I mean? Because my thing is my conspiracy thing is like that they want to take guns away.
See?
Like not so much the tech stuff or the info and all that kind of stuff is that I care about the gun rights because I mean I've seen that in history. Nazi Germany and other places, one of the first things they do
take away the guns.
Right, and then that's when after they do that's because then the citizens can't fight back.
Exactly.
Well, that feeds into my own conspiracy theory, and it's true. I don't talk about this that often, but I really do think that there are very powerful people in this country that want America to be an aristocracy and remove democracy entirely.
Yeah,
and very soon. I mean,
about the Illuminati.
No, I don't think there's an Illuminati quite. But I do think that there are people in power and positions and very wealthy people that are like, this is some bullshit. They need to work. They work for me, and I have the money.
Right.
And that's the way it should be. They want to go back to the 17 and 1800s.
Yeah.
Indentured servants, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
They want it.
Mm-hmm. And they feel like that's that. And they feel like that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it should be. And that's how they should have it.
I just say they were born with that. That's their birthright. It's like that story we did about the people with the what game was that? Where the people that had the advantage, Monopoly, the people with the advantage already at the beginning.
Cheater edition Monopoly.
The people with the advantage started to think. The people started to think that they were entitled to that, and that they were
really
winning. They were winning because of their skill,
right?
And that everybody else was just bad, and they had more snacks than everybody else.
Right?
Remember that?
Yeah,
I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I see what you mean. I kind of think there's some truth to that. I get that.
That's my biggest fear in this country.
I kind of feel like the show Ray Donovan. I think that kind of gives you a glimpse of that type of thing. What you were just talking about, Pip, because basically, I mean, he's a fixer. Basically, I call Ray Donovan that show. I call it like a man's version of Scandal, right? Because it's similar, but like it's geared towards men. And in that show, there's like all these rich, powerful people basically manipulating the system and law enforcement and any and everybody to get what they want and to cover up things that they've done that they don't want exposed and different things like that. And they pretty much get away with it somehow or another, whatever, because they are rich and powerful, and I think there's some truth to that.
Yeah. I absolutely do.
Yeah, me too.
I think that there's people back there pulling strings. All right, so that went and it took an interesting twist.
Well, I'm not mad. I feel like that needed to be said. Everybody keep your eyes open for that shit, just in case.
But I'm not as scared of Alexa.
No.
I don't think she's going to bring down the world.
She helping.
So Netflix is being sued once again.
Netflix?
By Sabrina?
Netflix, no, not by Sabrina.
They keep fucking up.
No. They're being sued by somebody else this time. This
Oh,
time
they
a
can't get it
detective.
right.
A detective from now you guys know the show Making a Murderer from
Yeah.
Netflix,
Yeah.
the documentary series. A detective that was featured in that series is suing Netflix and some of their producers of that series specifically because he feels defamed. Like they made him to look like a corrupt cop, and that they left out details and different things. They manipulated the facts to make him look dirty. And so he's suing, and I don't blame him.
I don't blame him either. That's right.
Especially, I mean, as long as he's telling the truth, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Well, it would not work to his advantage if he was not.
Right. Right.
So
that's true.
But I mean, we talk about this type of thing, and now on the one hand, you got celebrities saying things and whatever, and they get in trouble for that. That's not quite the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's somewhat related, tangentially related. Getting in trouble for saying whatever, and I kind of feel like that's like they're going a little too hard on that type of thing, digging up what people have said years ago and all that kind of stuff. Because
right.
I feel like who are we? Like everybody has sinned. Everybody has fallen short. Everybody's made mistakes and said things and done things that they shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
So if you go digging up anybody's past, you dig far enough or long enough, you're gonna find stuff.
Yeah.
So who's deciding who gets dug up and how far you dig and to what extreme, and it's just like a can of worms that just needs to be closed. Like I'm not for this stuff.
No, I'm not for that.
Even if they've done it, I don't like it. It's not right. Like who are you to make you that person? You're not God. You're not the moral police. But this, I feel like, is something totally different. I think Hollywood needs to come to terms with there's a difference between entertainment, television and movies,
and informative,
and there's and informative, and they're so used to manipulating
and creating a narrative,
a narrative, and they do it in these so-called reality television shows, and then it carries over into something that's like a documentary like this. And that is wrong.
Yeah,
that's
just
wrong.
Tell the facts.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
You have to present all the evidence as found on both sides, and stop trying to make a narrative and show your narrative and frame things. And you can't do that. You can't tell a story like that with a documentary. You have to let the facts tell the story.
That's true. That's true.
And I'm all for this. I think Hollywood definitely needs to stop this and to cut it out, and quit playing fast and loose with the terms reality and real and live and all that shit, because it's all manipulated. It's all manipulated. It's a producer back there pulling strings and setting up fights and all this stuff. and it's not real.
Yeah,
some of it is straight up scripted to a certain extent.
And people know this. They know that their favorite reality show, or maybe not everybody knows, but I think the majority of people know that a lot of these reality shows and a lot of these, different types of shows are scripted. They are redone. They are, in a sense, not real. They are pretty much just about as the same as a sitcom.
Right.
So generally, you're watching a sitcom. It's just the way that it's shot that they want to call it reality based, because I guess it's not in a controlled environment, but still, it's just like the same thing.
It's scripted now.
Yeah, it's misleading to the public that's watching it and believing it and thinking that it's a real thing or thinking that it's actually happening and not knowing that it's fake.
Have you ever watched a reality show and the two people are having a conversation, especially one of the shows like when they're working on something like Project Runway or something like that, and they sewing something, or they're making a craft or some sort, and they'll show one person talking. So A is talking to B, and A will ask B a question, B will answer the question, they'll go back to A, and then whatever A was working on is different.
Right.
Like it's an earlier version or a later version of it, and then they cut back again, and then it's that thing, same thing again. It's like, wait a minute, you only had 3 stickers on that board before. Now you got 6. Then they cut away, and then now you only got 2.
Right.
So clearly this conversation didn't happen
in order.
This is not the chronological way this conversation happened. They just took you saying yes from later on in the day. They took you saying like I don't care from earlier in the conversation.
Exactly. The chop up. It was actually a big thing on social media after they aired an episode of Love and Hip Hop, because Ray J had a beanie on in one of the episodes, and every shot of him, the beanie was in a completely different position. Like one time he was talking, the beanie was on properly. Then the next time they cut to him, it was off to the side. And the next time they was talking to him, he had it just pushed back a little bit. Like, how many times did you guys shoot this same scene and just chop it up like this? Because there's no way nobody shifts their hat around that many times.
I've been used to as a pawn in the producer's narrative before.
Sweeten something up.
Well, not to sweeten up. No, this is back when I was the president of the Black Student Alliance in college. And I got us tickets to do you remember Paul Rodriguez, the comedian?
Yeah.
And he had a special. He used to have these gang specials. I got us tickets to that. And Jamie Foxx was there. It was when he was just getting on the scene or whatever, and Public Enemy and all that. So it was really cool. And I was sitting front and center, right? I had on a starter jacket. I had on a black starter jacket. And I had on some Lokes, right? And so I guess they decided I was going to be, the gang dude or whatever, right? So there was this one particular joke that somebody like not Jamie Foxx, but somebody who started before him, like the opening act or whatever. I didn't think it was funny. I wasn't laughing, and everybody around me was cracking up. That was the one time that I didn't laugh.
Wow.
Because after that, everything was funny and I laughed. But when they showed this special, every shot that they showed as a reaction shot,
you was crying.
It was the same shot of me not laughing,
looking hard,
and it was not even from when Jamie Foxx was up, because when Jamie Foxx was up there, I was dying,
right?
Because he was hilarious,
right?
But they would show the shot from the other dude that didn't make me laugh,
right?
Throughout the whole thing. And also, later on I took off my jacket and I had on a button up, like a yellow or tan, some light colored button down shirt that didn't button down collar, button up shirt, didn't look anything like a gangster or whatever. They didn't show that.
Right.
Wow.
They didn't show that.
Wow. Yeah, it's true.
So that was like early on into my, that was even before I started studying television and stuff, before I found out about that. And I was like, wow, I was taken aback. I was like, that's odd. Why would they go to the trouble?
Now Jamie Foxx think I don't like him.
I was just like, no, I just thought, not a lot of people even noticed, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I'm noticing because it's me.
It's you, right.
But there were people who knew me that saw the special and called and thought, are you in a gang now? I'm like, I'm the Black Student Alliance gang.
Right.
I'm in the BSA.
Yeah.
BSA for life.
For life.
But yeah, it was interesting and it worked. You know, they had people who knew me wondering like if I was in the gang or not, because, you know, they had this narrative that they showed me looking hard, you know, and not laughing and all this other kind of stuff, you know.
P.S. Dino, the 90s is coming back. You ready?
You still got
my starter jacket and my Lokes.
Still got your,
coming back.
jacket
I just saw. There's new versions of the 8-ball jacket, the 8-ball leather jacket, the bomber jackets. I just saw one. Like it's on the